is up, party people? My bad. I forgot that I was using a different intro, so I wasn't paying attention. My bad. I apologize. Let me put this up on screen real quick. A little bigger. And I don't know why I did it, but I changed my background and now everything's all messed up. I gotta turn everything back on, so give me a second. There we go. Much better. Lights are back on. Okay, so nothing planned. I literally just figured, fuck it, let's go live. Get the link out there to you guys. I don't know how long I'm going to be live. I honestly can doubt I'll be an hour at best. I just wanted to jump on because I didn't earlier, kind of see what's going on, and relieve you of some of the other shit shows that are on at the moment. Let me see. Make sure I didn't step on no one's toe. Oh, I did, huh? I didn't know Jose was live. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see what Jose is doing. All right. Yep, there we go. So they're looking at observations. Let's piggyback on his observations and see what they're talking about. What's up, Sean? How you doing, sir?
Doing all right.
I didn't even realize
Caught
Jose was live.
Drinking something.
I didn't even realize Jose was live right now.
Yeah, he's live. He's going over some photos. It's pretty cool. He's got some awesome shots.
Yeah, I'm actually watching it as we speak. I'll share it with you so you can see it too. Yeah, if I would have known he was live, I wouldn't have gone live. I just didn't even check. But I didn't get to speak on what had happened this morning. That was special.
Yeah, and yeah, it kept going and going and going. I actually had a headache afterwards.
I was like, oh, this is getting good. I'm really getting somewhere with them. And all of a sudden, Rumpus comes in. Rumpus and Dress. I love them both, but damn, they know how to derail a good conversation. Because I was doing, it was great. Okay,
so. Yeah, and I was just letting it go because you had them like backed into the corner, you know, like not really attacking, but like just hey, look, this is what I see, you know. So after you left, it went on for a long time, and then afterwards, you know, everybody started leaving, and it ended up Lori, Travis, Nathan, and myself sitting in a panel and going over Coriolis.
Damn,
you know, but it wasn't live or anything, and Nathan, you know, was like, oh, we don't, there's nothing that proves Coriolis or anything like that. And so I said, would you like a copy of the artillery handbook for the howitzer? And, you know, towards the end of the conversation, he just goes, no.
Yeah, it was one of those things where the only thing I got out of it that I was actually pretty happy about is the fact that, I mean, he can no longer, none of them can know, even Nathan was at the point where you can't deny certain bits of evidence like they're trying to do. It's very obvious, and I knew it. I could tell from the start, and I was like, oh, okay. That's why I've been trying to tell people. I've been figuring that shit out. You don't need to yell at everybody. Trust me, it's not necessary.
Right, and they kept like trying to talk over everybody and everything like that. But when it came down to the four of us, you know, I asked Nathan. I said, do you come here for the truth, or do you just come here to, you know, to just try to deny everything that's being brought to you? And then, of course, it was a scattergun real quick kind of deal. But, you know, I mean, it just gets to the point where you're like, okay, well, you know, you can take the information or not. I don't really care either way, but I'm just trying to give some information.
I started realizing I like when people take these type of when they do stuff like this. I think it's the opportunity to do like screenshots and shit. Yeah, that was the worst part. Cause I was trying to tell Rumpus, I was like, dude, we got this. Like, he had everything calm, but then he comes all like aggressive and ready to pounce. I had to go. I was like, I can't handle this. It's too much.
Yeah, I think that's when I started getting a headache.
It was fun while it lasted. I mean, I was just happy Nathan was chill. Um, he wasn't acting all crazy and all rumpusy. I mean, not rumpusy. Damn, I was reading the chat at the same time. See, that's why I don't read the chat and talk. Nathan wasn't being all like Nathan is, all crazy and acting all like
Well,
Nathan.
yeah, well, except for when he got to the end, and he's had an actual conversation about what he does and stuff like that. Other than just the flat Earth stuff.
Yeah,
But
I've only seen him out of that little show one time in my whole life, and other than that, he's been a dickhead. So
yeah, yeah, and it was pretty cool to have a conversation with him. But then, as soon as everybody started leaving, it was just the four of us, just uh, Lori and all of us sitting around, and he started in with it, and I wasn't going to let him like just railroad the conversation, and then they started trying to put words in my mouth and put words in Lori's mouth, and I was like, no, 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 that is not what I said.
yeah,
Let's get this straight first.
yeah, it was weird. I hate when that happens. And that I wasn't gonna say anything, but I decided I have to say it. That Brian guy, I I believe he does some grade checking. I don't think he understands it as much as he leads on to. There was just too much like that when I started asking him about level and flat, and use like the slopes and everything. That's frustrating.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
That's the only
and
part I didn't
and
like.
and in the part where he wanted to call everybody a liar for no reason.
Mm.
If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. If I
Yeah.
if I if I have my understanding and it's wrong, tell me I'm wrong. you know, Please. Otherwise, I'm going to go through life thinking of it one way, and it's going to be completely separate.
I don't want to be that guy that fucking runs up to people talking about I know what I'm talking about and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's confusing.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just seems like I can understand having passion about it, but there's a point where it's just flat denial.
Oh yeah,
Just flat denial. And if you don't want to go do the work, if you don't want to go build something to go do the work, if you say you don't have the time to, it's just denial.
yeah. There's no other way around it. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's. I guess for me, it's more frustrating than it's ever been because I'm not used to or actually I am. I'm used to it being like that because you'd be surprised how many times as a flat earther, hey, this doesn't make sense or it doesn't work, and then people be getting all pissed off at you for it, and it's like, yeah, that's not something's not right when you do that. So yeah, stuff like that kind of it's irritating, and it makes me wonder if people are true flat earthers. But it is what it is. Travis, so yeah, I'm gonna say this out to everyone too. So Travis, he had made it. He had said he would come back on blah 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 last night. So I went quiet for a minute. When I wasn't quiet, I went and I actually apologized to Travis online for or on Skype, just so like he knew I wasn't just fucking around and I wasn't tricking him on shit. I said, hey Travis, I apologize. You think I tricked you to get on my panel? I'm not like that. I don't do that shit. I defended you when Irbis was there, but I do apologize that it got to this point. You know what he said? Nothing. He said absolutely nothing. So it is what it is.
Oh, so he did pull what I just pulled.
Yep. So I was like, well, last night I was like, okay, cool. Maybe he's on the panel. He's not going to know. Or maybe he hasn't seen it yet. But then we did the Skype thing this morning. And I went, okay, cool. Got it. Yeah, so he's shit. I'm angry.
So yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
So
angry, but I'm not angry, but at least I know what camp he's in. That's what I really like. I really like a flat earther that comes over, acts like a person and respectful, and then you get what they get with other flat earthers, and all shit hits the fan. And it's like, okay, I get it now.
Well, when it was just the four of us in there, I could tell that they were going back and forth because they'd go on mute and they were going back into Skype and having a conversation.
Yep.
I knew exactly what was happening.
Yeah, well, because
I was just gonna sit there.
Yeah, but the thing was, I didn't mind because it was the one opportunity that you don't get this opportunity very often when there's an equal amount of flat earthers and you're able to get your point across because everyone's like, it got kind of hectic at the beginning because I was angry. But once everything calmed down and we started looking at those that one light tower, the white one, everything was calm. Everyone had to agree on everything. And they didn't even realize the whole time they're talking, they're describing a globe. Everything you see, everything we try to explain to them over and over again, they're explaining to us. And it was like, wow. Because what did it was when Travis was like, I want you to compress, overlay that tower on that one. And I did it. If we hadn't done that, like, see, these are the things I like to do. Because, again, we didn't see the big ass refraction line in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, exactly. That and as soon as you said, why don't you guys take a look at this picture and tell me what you see? Mm-hmm. And they did exactly what we did.
Yeah,
the same exact thing.
Yep.
They came to the same exact conclusion.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden the story started changing about, I don't know, probably about half an hour in.
Yep. If Jose plays that, it's going to be a bombshell because it really did show. It's that pack mentality thing they're starting to do. So they just don't agree. But once they get calm, or anybody gets calm for that matter, that's when those conversations start. And observations and what you see is what you see. It's not this them versus us type shit. It's what we see. And that's why I like that a lot, because it was like we had gone over those observations so much. I knew just as much as I know just as much about that observation as Travis does by now. So it's even like we can't talk about it anymore. But it's really a good idea to go to people who've never seen that observation, don't have a dog in the fight because they don't know what they're looking at, and ask them. And everything they said was exactly how it was, right up until it got to that water. And just like I thought. But
yep.
it confirmed exactly what I had thought.
Well, they said, oh, right there is this line, and right there is this line. Both of them. Would you agree? Yep, I totally agree. Yeah. Yep. And then Travis was trying to say about the refraction, and the part of the boat is refracted, and I'm like, well, it would still be across the other part of the water. You would still see it. It's part of the mirage.
Yeah, it's. Let me see. Second. Yeah, it's. And that's when, everyone will see it. I keep forgetting it wasn't live. That's the crazy part. I forgot. I know it was live for the
that was just recorded.
Yeah, it was live for a little bit while we were on, but right when because I got on right when it went off, because I didn't have a final word.
Yeah, no, me either. But I was working most of the day, so I missed quite a bit. Yeah, and hop in and out.
Yeah, man, that was probably one of the best hangouts I've been on in a while, and the best part is they're all about Travis is the new Rumpus, or not? Damn. The new Ranty. But
Yeah, I mean, he is very good at debating.
yeah,
At debating.
uh-huh. But the problem is he doesn't know. I came to that conclusion today. He doesn't know he's doing wrong. I don't think he realized he even. I think he may have cropped out that one or took a screenshot of that one island. He may have went across the board with the mouse wrong, and it could have scrunched it or stretched it a little bit. I don't think he knows. I don't think he can tell. That's just being honest.
Yeah, exactly. But that
It's no
that was kind
excuse.
of that was kind of your point. And my point was if you had not done anything to the photo, but you looked at it and you said, yeah, that's compressed. Wouldn't you say, yeah, my finger could have slipped.
Yep.
This program could have done it. Something could have happened. But that you're right. That is not this way. So I mean, and that would be honest with yourself. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's like I said, man. I said this to him. I said it's not. It's not me. You need to convince. But you realize, like, you're saying this to the world. Like, people are hearing and listening, and they're gonna eventually come to the conclusion that, oh, he was way wrong, and or he didn't see that like it was supposed to be, and that's why I want to do this. I want. Hang on. Oh, that was an unexpected yawn. My bad. I just don't. I don't want people to gloss over these details because that was one of the things that I wanted to make it clear before. Because remember, um, the was it probably a week ago? Yeah, about a week ago now, maybe a few days ago. We're in here and everyone in the chat was saying, like, "Hey, no, forget Travis, blah blah blah. He's this, he's that," and it's like, even since that day, the information and the things that weren't seen or talked about have been talked about. They've been seen. I mean, we beat the crap out of that observation to the point now where I can't talk to anybody that was on that panel about it. We need others.
Yeah, exactly. Like an outside source to come in and look at all the footage and see exactly what's going on. Look at the evidence.
Yeah, the realization is that that's the verification that they keep asking how we get, how we have education, how we know anything that has to do with science is based on verifying and having to take a little trust in something.
So if anybody out in the panel is a private detective, we'll give you the information, pass it on, and you can make the decision from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's up, Digital? How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. If you hear a little bit of background noise, it's the portable fan in my room because it's stinking hot in Australia right now. Just that there's a particular star that debunks this whole flat Earth claim that the stars rotate above us. Is that there's a star called Vega Star that in about 5,000 odd years is going to replace Polaris as the North Star. But at a particular time of year, it can be seen in the southern hemisphere.
Huh. Damn.
Yeah, pretty freaky, eh?
What about the Southern Cross? Is that your?
You'll never see it in the northern hemisphere ever, because it sits below a particular declination on the Earth.
Yeah. It's just solo. Yeah.
Yeah,
That doesn't make,
it's just big. Okay,
that doesn't make sense.
Oh, you go, Sean.
Because that's how the freaking lunar eclipses are. And then they the 10%, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's nice. That's nice, but we're talking about the regular ones.
Okay. Yeah, remember Father Ted? These are close. Those are far away. Goes the same for the planets compared to the stars. So yeah.
So I'm happy you brought that up because someone in my chat, the comments from yesterday, had said something. Ben, I think it was, had said we know. I can't. I don't want to smash it, but hang on, I'm gonna go to it real quick. But it was a question that I had to think about again, like that I still do have, because I don't know. It had to do with the stars. I'm getting to my comments right now. He said, just to point out the motion is not a presupposed. It's evident when observing the sky. There's the most certainly motion with 100% certainty. Are we certain that there is?
Yeah, because stars are in different positions at particular times of the year.
How do we know the stars aren't
Ah,
moving? Like on a wobble.
uh,
Well, okay, so the galaxies are moving. The
Mm-hmm.
galaxies around the stars are continually moving. But kind of like our sun, how our sun sits in the same spot per our per our observation.
Mm-hmm.
When we go around, we see different stars, which puts both the sun and us
Ah,
moving.
okay. So the sun would have to be doing something like that as well. Okay, I
yeah,
get
we
it. I
move
get it.
relative to the stars around us,
Mm-hmm.
but the galaxies that we see move differently.
Okay, so everything isn't doing the same thing above us, like it
Yeah,
would
so
if
most of
it
the
was.
stars,
Yeah,
most of the stars we see
exactly.
are only in our galaxy.
Yeah.
So they're only Milky Way stars. Any stars we see outside of that are actually classified as anomalous stars, meaning that they are wandering stars basically, so they don't actually attach to a galaxy. But everything we see outside of our solar system is usually contained in another galaxy.
Okay, I see. I'm starting to get it now. So then,
Yeah. Andromeda Galaxy is our closest galaxy that we can see at 4.4, I think it's million light years. It's very far away. But the closest star to us is Proxima Centauri. At, I think it's like 2.5 light years away.
so this is Andromeda.
Yes,
Isn't it the one
yeah.
we're
See,
supposed to
Sean,
collide with eventually?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It could be tomorrow. It could be tomorrow.
You're a liar.
But
Uh,
it
3.7 billion years from now.
Yeah, but see,
see,
there's something that they don't tell you when they're talking about that. It's that I think it's in a half a billion years, or half that time, what it was, is the time is unpredictable because the gravity of the galaxies will then rapidly make the speed go faster.
Oh, so you're presuming gravity works the way you think it does.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well,
Well,
because you've also got to take into account the expansion of the entire universe to actually make that equation.
I remember this one time when I was a flat earther. I went into
At band camp?
I went into debate flat earth and more, and I had had this on my brain. I went, how much does a galaxy weigh, and how do they know it weighs anything? And it was explained, about the planets and the matter that's in that galaxy, and then it went to, yeah, but is it like, does it have mass? Like, is it a mass? And I was told no.
Yes.
No, I was told
But
no.
it is.
See, that's
It
what
is.
I didn't
Oh,
get. So does that galaxy then have a space warp or space bend like we do?
yes.
Then how could anything ever hit each other? Because
Okay.
in that gravity well, basically.
Glad you brought that up. Because here comes the difference between general relativity and special relativity. Okay, in general relativity, everything bends and warps space-time. Anything that has mass will warp space-time. Okay, but according to E equals mc squared, if you actually do the right calculation using the other formulas that are derived from that, but what you get is that the energy doesn't equal the mass every time. Sometimes there's more energy than there is mass. but it still travels at the same amount of time, meaning that whether it's got more energy or more mass, it is just because it has more mass doesn't mean it has more energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what happens is basically like a planet would cause a small bend in space-time, whereas a galaxy will cause a huge bend in space-time. That's why we get gravitational lensing.
Yes, okay. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, and redshift. Okay, because it's easier for the longer wavelengths to travel around the galaxy than it is for the short ones. They get cut off or absorbed by the galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have people in chat going, "Oh, this bullshit." Well, it's what happens. It's what we observe.
Yeah. No, I've watched, and I get it. I get how gravitational lensing works. I don't understand how they understand if it's far away or close. You know, because it could be a small object really close. It could be a large object really far. Because they've seen something out there that it was supposed to be bigger than our sun, but it's a planet. But it's way too big. Like, it is way too fucking big. Like, they started talking like...
yeah.
They started talking like Dyson spheres and all that shit like that. But not for real, but...
They actually equivalent it to a...
What happened?
I don't know. Was that me?
You just cut it right out.
I think we were talking about this the other night with Barney about, could it be the possibility of the second sun in the solar system?
Is that what this is? Am I on the right? What's the name of it?
No idea.
Because this is aspect ratio up to 10.1 is unlike that of any object seen in our... Okay, see, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Are you using NASA?
See, because they're calling it an asteroid. That's not it.
No, it's most likely a brown dwarf.
But I think they thought it was a star or something.
Well, a brown dwarf is a failed star, but it has the properties of a planet.
I should probably put it in space. Maybe that'll help too.
Oh, presumed space.
Stop it. Scientists found home of mysteries. Yeah, see, these are all about that damn asteroid.
Yeah, people think we call it space because it's empty. No, we call it space because things are so fucking far apart.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of space.
Yeah.
See, they're talking about like second interstellar visit ever seen to fly through solar system.
They're still talking about that asteroid, that cigar-shaped long thing that they thought was a spacecraft.
Are you serious?
That's what that is. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the one that came dipping around.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing was supposed to be moving faster than anything they could possibly even explain if they wanted to. Like, and they still can't.
Well, they can't explain it because until an object gets close enough to make detailed observations, you can't tell.
Yeah, but...
Well, in traveling at that speed, I mean, it's got to be crazy to try to catch it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's our sun it went by, right? It went by our sun?
Yes. Okay, so most things that enter into our solar system are normally dragged in by the gravity of the entire solar system. But then the sun takes over. Yeah, then the sun will take over and drag it in.
Crazy. You guys are...
I was actually just I was actually just thinking about that. If that thing was traveling so fast, it didn't even... It wasn't even a blink in the the gravity. That's crazy. I mean, that's pretty insane how fast that is moving. It's not even affected by the gravity of the sun.
Yeah, for real.
Oh no, but it was. It was. That's what kept it making a path into the solar system.
Well,
Whether it went near the sun or not, it was still affected by it.
I see it now. Okay, yeah, I was looking at it the entirely wrong way. I was looking at the green line in the middle as,
No.
the direction. I was like, wow, that passed really close to the sun.
No, but it had a curved path, which means that there had to have been some form of gravitational warping to curve it. Yes, I know. Gravity.
What else could it be? That's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, see,
Marsha.
Yeah, well, that's where people mess up with space time. Okay, mass objects warp space time. The effect of which is gravity. Gravity is still a force, even though some people go pseudo force, but they don't. The reason they call it a pseudo force is because it is created because of something else, not because it's fake. Come on, Sean. You know the things with words. People misinterpret the usage of it
all the time. Yeah, big time. It does. Yeah, it's disingenuous. See, for a long time I used to think, why are maybe we shouldn't even be talking about the universe? But then I realized if we didn't, then we would still be stuck on stupid as humans.
Absolutely. Yeah, that we would be oblivious to anything outside of our personal dome, as it were.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is ignorance.
Well, I remember for a while that took some surface for a while, that personal sun shit. Then I was like, well, how come when two people walk up to each other, their suns don't run into each other? How come there's a bunch of suns just slamming into each other?
Yeah, imagine at a concert that starts in the day when your sun hasn't gone down.
Sorry, guys. my girl just brought food home. She doesn't really know much about this and doesn't care for it so much. So like, she just handed me the bag and the microphone's all right there.
That's all right. You got your feed.
Yes, I am going to go on comatose for a second. You guys have to talk.
I thought you were describing the suns coming together at a concert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that one. That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, that's the ultimate analogy. If we had personal domes with personal atmospheres and personal suns, the moment you get 100 people together, you're going to cause supernova.
Oh yeah. My question, even more, is how come you guys don't? How come you guys see the same sun you think you see? Here's your personal sun. Your sun's not going to be the same as anybody's.
Okay, us reality people understand it's really far away, and that's why half the Earth can all see the sun.
My favorite part is when someone will come up with something like that, and all flat earthers will go, "Oh hell no, I'm not with them. I don't think we have a personal sun. Nope." When I'm not sure if you guys were around when no trees or no forests on Earth shit came out. Know about that? No. Oh,
what?
Christ. Oh
my
yeah, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Imagine a mountain, right? Or better yet, Devil's Rock. You know what Devil's Tower is? Devil's Tower.
Oh, in the desert, yeah.
Yeah. That's not a rock. That's not granite. That's a tree stump.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I know these people.
It even has a
I know
root
these
system.
people.
Flat Earth went, nope, fuck you. Some grabbed on. Most said, fuck that.
Yeah, like Mount Meru. Yeah, in Antarctica.
Yeah, it's
The
tree of
four
life.
rivers. Yeah, the four rivers run to, and that. Yeah, oh my god.
That one was one of the first ones. Hang on. Was one of the first ones that had came out on an upload that I went, oh fuck that, and I instantly went live or did an upload going, this is why this is wrong. I did that with no fuel in planes. Flat Earth kind of grabbed onto that one a little bit too much, but most said no way. And then I came to find out it was just people that had problems with the pricing of tickets.
Really?
Pretty much.
Do they understand how much it costs to run an airliner?
No, none of them were airline owners.
They must have never gone to a concert, because concerts are fucking expensive too.
Yeah, the cost of a concert's almost the same as an interstate plane flight.
And I did that the same way I did the observations with Travis. I just went real slow and buried him with questions. And it came out, and that's what I came to the conclusion of. It's like, you guys, it has nothing to do with fuel. It has everything to do with the money of it. Oh, so you're mad?
So anyway, that was. I'm sorry, you just sparked the memory from earlier today. Apparently, because they like to use these quotes from Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I said, okay, so you're going to take one paragraph that this person said, or one sentence. You're going to take everything else that he's ever said, and you're going to throw it all out, and you're going to use this one sentence. And they agreed to it. And I said, okay, Travis, we're going to use one of your photos. Just one. And that's it. That's all we're going to base this on. And Nathan tried to defend him, and I said, no. I said, if you're going to do one thing for one person, we're going to do one thing for every person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I was there for the end of that, or the beginning of that I left.
Yeah, I don't get why they have a problem with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay.
Well, remember when I put out 2 uploads. I searched Neil deGrasse Tyson on YouTube, and the first 2 were actual what do you call them? Lectures. Like, it was lectures. He was doing some. So that's where I got those little clips from interviews after it, and he was being very astrophysicist. And I said, why didn't you guys use this? That was one of the videos I got a good viewing on, because people were like, that's pretty much why don't you? The one that Sean's talking about, we both saw that, and we were like, yeah. Matter of fact, he was laughing, and they were joking around. And then you edit it, and it doesn't look like that. But that's what they were doing when he said that. They were joking around about everything.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is very good at being glib. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what he does is he takes the negative argument and puts a positive twist on it, and then debunks it. But just as you said, Sean, they only get the clip where he mentions the claim.
Damn, that's some good weed. Oops.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the other thing was, if you're gonna take something like that, I mean, it's the same as plain sailing. Yeah, you do understand that, like, in that paragraph, it states that it's only used for a guesstimation. It's not like it's going to be dead on. It's a guesstimation.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and it states the error ratio for 600 nautical miles.
Well, I like to say Neil deGrasse Tyson is the AMC movie theater version of science, and all, like, the journals and studies that they're doing. Those are the novel versions, and that's why he sounds the way he does, because he's talking to laymen. about
Yeah.
real shit, and he has to figure out a way to do it. And that's why he's so famous, because he's really good at doing that, making, taking novel to movie.
Yep, and
Yeah.
not only that, but being able to do it either, in a 4-minute clip or something like that, and being able to explain a complex problem down to, using a beach ball.
Yeah. Funny thing is, okay, he started his university degree the year before I was born.
We don't know how old you are.
I'm 43.
Damn.
I'm the same age as Aaron.
Damn, you and Aaron are old. You, Aaron, and my girlfriend.
Damn, he looks good for his age.
That's why he's so damn smart. I'm gonna get that out of him. Watch. You guys are gonna hear an Aaron that you've never heard before one day. Fine, Brian. You have to come in.
I don't look my age.
Neither do I. If I shave, I look like 13 again.
Okay, when I was in my mid-30s,
Yeah, it's a curve, isn't it?
Hell yeah.
I would go to nightclubs. I would get asked for ID at the age of 35 with stubble on my face.
I'm 38 and I still get carded.
Dude, just be like me. Be 30 with so much gray hair that they're like, yeah, there's no fucking way you're 21.
Just come in with a limp.
But back to when I was talking about Vegas Star. Not a single flat earther can even knows what it is.
I didn't. But if you're
most of the flat
if you
earthers
prove that we're stationary, you should probably know though.
Yeah, you should.
Most of flat earthers don't know that Polaris actually moves. Not much, but it still moves.
Yeah,
it's what is it? 0.4 degrees.
Oh, it's like millimeters. If you're looking at it a year.
But it does.
Yeah.
It has to be doing something if it's not stationary or the center.
Well, to be fair, y'all had a flat earther on earlier, either yesterday or today, that was under the impression that a rum line is on a flat surface. No, a rum line is on a globe.
Is it Jose's?
Yeah. I was under the impression that a plane sailing, which makes use of a rum line over a certain distance. So he was essentially saying that we must necessarily be on a flat plane. Because we can use a simplified set of mathematics to calculate a curved path within a certain amount of limitations with X amount of error. If that's not ignorance, I don't know what is.
Was it that Brian guy?
I don't know who that was. Isa?
No, that was it was Isa yesterday.
Okay. That guy's okay. So Isa's cool.
Isa.
I like Isa.
Isa's weirdo.
When I was a flat earther, we used to talk all the time because he's another flat earther that doesn't always think the same way everyone else does. So he's not always in the main groups and everything. He was on the outside, kind of like I was.
Yep. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, but he's really got a not very good understanding of what he was telling people.
Believe it or not, he's he studied law for a very long time. For a long time, he was just around to tell people what their rights were and explain how different situations worked. Once he decided it was a globe again at one point. I don't know why he came back. But I think he really just likes the atmosphere more than anything. And
You mean the air we breathe?
I'm just saying the grouping, the community, the talking. He plays a lot of music, so he likes people hearing it. He likes talking about stuff like that. And I think he's so flat earth apologetic that he's got himself stuck at arguing for them.
Whoops.
Because he's not a disrespectful person. But I remember
he seemed like a swell guy.
Yeah. He can get under people's skin when he wants to, but he didn't know. He doesn't know blue or anything, so that's what happened yesterday.
Yeah, it's just some of the things that he comes up with are a bit
far out,
quirky. Mm-hmm. Quirky, I would say. They're not far out. They're just thinking differently. But it's the fact that the thought is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask something? And this is just going off of everything I've observed. Everybody wants to pull it. Well, okay, on the flat Earth side, they want to go off of papers that they find from like the 1800s, the 1700s, and things like that. But they don't want to see science. They don't want to use any of the papers from today. They don't want to use any of the photographs from today. Is it just because they can only grasp that part of it?
It's that it fits their narrative is what the problem is.
But even reading back on those papers back then, it still gives the information. It's just harder to extrapolate.
Well, imagine you thought you knew how something worked. Somehow you then think you don't. And you start going down those paths. You know, the ones that will lead you to the truth that every truther takes. Well, once you start having to construct something to make it try to work and it doesn't, after a while, it's easier just to say it doesn't work in a certain way, or you know what I mean? If unless that path is easy, a lot of people just don't do it. That was why I didn't look up.
Actually, a good example of how things changed. So if anyone remembers the old black and white King Kong,
I remember what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From the 1930s, how they had dinosaurs standing upright.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, but okay, that was the standard model of a bipedal dinosaur. And then back in the 80s, someone realized, I think it was the 80s or the 70s. No, it was the 80s. Someone realized they had the hip bone the wrong way around, flipped it, and then it changed the whole way the dinosaur sat, and then that's how it comported to the way birds are.
Not to mention that now they have to redesign all the dinosaurs with feathers, or at least a good portion of them.
And that's what I mean. How do they see? Someone opened a can of worms.
But it's information.
The dinosaur thing is the issue I have with it.
You can have issues with the dinosaur thing, but I was just using the analogy of how one little thing changed everything we knew about something.
Yeah, but before that time, they had dinosaurs in museums. How? If it doesn't work, you must throw it out. Throw it out.
But they didn't know.
Well, yeah.
They didn't know that at that time. That's the thing. It's like the same as saying how Pluto was only discovered last century.
That's a planet too.
And then it was demoted this century.
No, it wasn't.
You know why it was demoted?
I don't care.
Why it was demoted?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna explain it to you.
Never be a planet.
Okay, if Pluto came as close as Earth is to the Sun, it would lose half of its mass by melting, and it would also end up with a tail.
From the melting atmosphere?
No, the melting of the ice that it's made of.
Oh, because it's so far away. Oh, okay.
Half of its mass is ice.
What constitutes a planet then?
Okay, planet must. More than 80% of it must be matter.
Okay, not gas. Gas only.
Yeah, not something that. Yeah, so something that only has two states of capability. So it's either a solid or a gas.
Yeah.
Not like water, which can be a gas, a solid, and a liquid.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the stipulations. The other one is it must clear an orbital path. Pluto inhabits an entire asteroid field.
Well, that's the thing. We've never seen Pluto go around us. We can't. It's impossible.
No, it takes 270 years.
What's the closest planet we haven't seen orbit yet?
Probably Saturn, because it takes a long time for it to go round. But the thing is, because we go around so fast, we catch up to it every year.
Okay, so
Do you understand?
so we haul ass around. See, that's the hard part to really picture and realize that we're going around. Some of these planets are just too far out to be going around.
Oh
Most
no,
of
no,
them.
Yeah,
no.
well,
Okay.
they're moving. They're moving. It's just they're farther out, so they're moving at a different elliptical path.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the speed is almost relative. It's just they've got to go so much further. That's why it takes longer to go around it.
Well, doesn't Mercury do something completely different from everything else? Like that one does that whiz by
88
as
days.
shit, right?
Mercury is close enough to the sun that the mass of the sun interferes with its orbital path.
Yeah, but it takes a different path. Like it's like completely different than ours. Like it, as in,
Yeah, but I think that also has something to do with the solar flares as well. There was something about a large supernova or something like that that pushed it out of the original orbit or something like that. I read something on it, and that's why it does something completely different.
Who pushed what?
Pushed Mercury out.
Okay, Mercury takes 88 days to go around the sun. 88 days.
Yeah, but the way it goes around the sun, it's not the way it originally went down around the sun is what they were theorizing.
like something bumped it off its kilter.
Pressure from Venus is the story I know. Changed the elliptical path of Mercury. By the way, amateur astronomer here.
Aren't amateur astronomers?
Yeah, I just don't know. I just read something, so that's all I could do.
Yeah, we're just throwing stuff at you now.
Okay, so say Jupiter takes like 64 years to go around the sun, and it only takes us one. That means for every every year we travel, we're going to catch up to Jupiter once every time we go around, even though it's just going to be in a different position.
That's a good.
But we'll still be able to see it.
Stop moving. Wait.
Do you want me to two-dimensional this for you?
Yes, because I was gonna
Okay.
ask something. Is there a time of year where I don't see or no one sees Jupiter at all?
Yeah, when we're at 180 degrees away from it.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Yep.
Yeah, so you put the
We're
sun in the middle.
moving, not the sky.
Yeah, so you put the sun in the middle, and then plot all your planets in a row. Okay, before they even start their orbits. Okay, so as I've told you, Mercury goes around really quick. Venus is stupid. It goes slow because it revolves the other way. So it slows down its orbital velocity. And then there's us. Takes 364.3 days to go around the sun. Then there's Mars. I'm not sure on its number. I think it's 500 days. Something like that. And then there's Jupiter that takes 64 years because it's so massive and so far away. So when we travel around, we only have to go 1/64th further around, and then we'll see Jupiter again. And then the following year, we have to go 2/64ths around from our starting point, and then we'll see Jupiter again.
So I'm looking at. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so our position on 360 degrees, if you were to break that up into 64 parts, so for every one of those parts, our planet will be in a different position, but we'll still be able to see Jupiter.
Okay, I hope this isn't a stupid question. And I feel like it is, though. Does it each... So imagine each orbit is a racetrack. It's each planet slower the further out you go. Or, you know what I mean? Is Mercury the fastest? Venus the second, Earth the third rock from sun. Haha. Mars the fourth. Like, do they all go slower as you go out?
It's based on distance and mass.
So, didn't answer.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, that was sort of a two-part question. Okay. Yeah. Mercury goes around really quick, but it's really close.
Yeah.
But it's really small. But then there's us that takes 4 times as long to go round.
I was looking at this when I thought of that.
Oh, look. See? There's my analogy. But you see, because they're ovals, your positions aren't exactly the same as you go the shortest or the closest distance to the sun.
Yeah. The precession.
Well, the perigee.
Okay. I knew it was started with a P.
Yeah, so perigee is close, apogee is far.
Okay.
So Sean,
Yeah.
one of the one thing you can do to get the actual visualization of this is go into Google and just type in planets around the sun, and then go to images and then GIF.
GIF.
I'll just click on images.
Yeah. Click on images, and then click on GIF.
Which one? Wait, GIF.
Yeah.
I already clicked. Okay, I see what you're saying. But yeah, it's GIFs already.
But you could pick that one that's to the far top right, or actually, oh no, go back down a little bit. There's one cool one. To the left, I think. It's hard because I'm following you.
Yeah, that one. That one. That one
Yeah.
shows. Yeah, it's really quick, but it explains it. It even shows a comma.
Oh shit, that's badass. I see.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, I see exactly what.
Okay.
Wait, what's the hell?
See how you can see.
What's that? What's that one? The one on the outside. The one hauling ass. What's that?
Where?
The one that's going ape shit right on the outside. I'm trying to follow it.
Okay, forget about the one you're trying to follow and look at the 2 big planets.
ADD, dude.
Hang on. Okay, throw your ADD out. Okay, so the blue dot, that's us.
That way. Wait, this one?
Yeah, the blue dot is us.
Which blue dot?
Going
Nope,
around
the
really
other blue
quick.
dot. And towards the center of the sun.
I swear I know where the Earth is. I swear to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that one that's flying around the outside is really irritating the shit out of me. And the fact that digital wants to just bypass it like it doesn't exist pisses me off. This one, motherfucker.
Yeah, but this is...
Look, I'm going to follow it now. Oh, my mouse is kind of... That's not where it is. It's really not.
That's a mapped representation of Polaris.
What? That's Polaris?
That's a mapped representation of Polaris. That's what that's going around really quick. Well, it's the fact that you can see Polaris all through the year. So it has to technically follow the North Pole. So what they've done is they've thrown it in there.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Yeah. Now, okay. Here comes the explanation I gave you. So you see Earth.
Yes.
Spin around real quick, and the biggest yellow dot outside of that is Jupiter.
Okay.
See how we go all the way around, and yet Jupiter only goes like.
No, the big one.
This one. I just wasn't moving my mouse. I was trying.
That one.
Yeah.
So see how quick we go around, but then that only moves a little bit.
It's the dust. Yeah.
See? Yeah, that's the exact representation of what I explained to you. That we go round, all it does is changes its position by a couple of degrees, and then we see it again. Then we go round. So once we're on the other side of the the sun, we can't see it, and then we can't, because they all sit on a relatively same plane.
Why do we look like we're the next ones in line to hit that sun?
Because it's really small.
And how come the moon looks like it should be popped the fuck off into space somewhere?
Because it's really small.
I feel bad for the moon.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's probably dizzy as fuck.
Yeah, but that's the exact representation.
It's not my fault. What's all down here? What are these? What are those? What site did you take me to? I like that. I'll have to save that one.
You can save the shit out of that one. Go explain this.
If I was a flat earther, I'd give you this one. Like, tell me why this is happening. Is that your space? I like this website. I'm gonna have to jack some pictures from it. All right. Solar system animated GIFs. Galaxies. The galaxies was another one because they're a different type of galaxies. That one ain't real.
Okay,
people. That splashy one.
That splashy one.
Yeah.
Is what's going to happen to the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies when they mix.
What? That sucks. And
but
isn't
that image is over millions of years.
No. When
it will take for that to happen.
So you're telling me from contact to this, it'll take millions of years. So we're just going to be like the galaxies are just going to be intertwined for millions of years.
Okay, how long do you think it'll take for a sun to move 3 million light years?
So think of it this way. So 4 billion years from now, you're gonna see another sun in the sky.
Ooh, that's gonna suck.
That's if we survive all the other planets that are flying into the galaxy.
Will we miss them, or will they hit us?
We won't know because we'll be dead.
Why?
Because you're not going to live for 3.7 billion years.
You won't. You don't know.
What are you uploading your brain to your computer?
I don't want to talk about it. I've been instructed.
He's doing. He's doing Transcendence, and he's going to upload it to a 640 gigabyte hard drive.
Let's just say
640 gigabytes.
Walt Disney, his head is.
Dude, Glenn is going to be pissed off if he finds out that you're taking all his data with your mind.
Yes, how do you learn so much? There's no way for someone to learn as much as I have in the past 3.5 years. Ooh, what's that? That looks. He's going to do bad things.
That.
Ooh,
field.
That's badass.
Oh, look, supernova.
All the information I have in my head can fit on a 3.5-inch floppy.
I have no idea how much that can fit. So
what is it? Is it just one image?
Yeah. Pretty much.
I know who I am. Eclipses, even regular eclipses, they're not plates. I don't get it. See, that's the weird part. I'm starting not to get the flat Earth arguments now. Like, how did I ever think it that way?
I don't know. Maybe you're stupid.
I really wasn't though. I just didn't know as much. But now I felt like I was stupid.
Okay.
Those suns are totally real.
Yes.
Okay, so if you think you know a lot of stuff but you don't, that's actually stupid.
That's not true. That's not true.
But it is.
No, it's not.
So
wait.
Hey, stupid people can be very, very smart.
Well, see, that's
but it depends on what they're smart at.
Yeah, you're right. I'm stupid because I don't get it. I don't get it, but I get it. I got it. No, we'll see. I think I got it.
Okay, you know someone who can be a complete and utter dumb fuck, but they know how to fix an engine.
Yep. You're talking to him. Ooh, that's a good one. That's like a team of sperm. Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, that's the one they love to use, is that sort of an image. Look how fast we're traveling through space.
Oh, no, because I use this one on my I use this on my intro. This is the one you're talking about. And this is probably the best representation of what we are doing. Without the light trails and shit.
Yeah, but do you know that, like,
Inside
that takes a long time for that to happen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's so much more going on in the galaxy.
Yeah, well, even just the solar system. Yeah, so what if it's doing 500,000 miles an hour? It's not.
It's actually
That's
doing,
just...
Oh, I don't remember. I think it was 66 million a day. If it traveled in a straight line like that, they'd travel like 66 million a day. We would be... I don't remember the rest. I used to know the whole damn thing. You know how Nathan knows pi? I used to know the numbers of that. To that right there.
Okay,
Well,
so...
you know, not only that, but just think of it this way. This is only just a part of the galaxy. They don't even show anything else. They don't show any of the other progression of the stars in the background. I mean, there's so much going on.
Well, Sean,
Yeah.
it's a GIF.
Look, I understand that, but they don't.
Well, that should be the answer that's given too. We should be like, it's a GIF.
It's a GIF.
And it should be be fine, but it's not. I do have a question. Okay, so Jupiter or Saturn is a gas planet, right?
Gas giant,
Yes.
but a planet still, because it does have an iron core.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Perfect. They can't see that iron core.
No, but it produces a magnetic field.
Something does. And what we know to be a magnet, that would be what it would be. But how do we know?
No. Okay, so it's not a bar magnet. It's a magnetic field. So because of the way the center spins inside the core, because of the amount of energy it creates electromagnetic energy, which in turn creates the magnetic field. So it's like a turbine generator inside, but because the amount of inertia it has compared to what's on the outside of it, it creates magnetic waves.
And so I just typed in Saturn's electromagnetic magnosphere of Saturn. What the?
Yeah, or magnetosphere.
Is that what it is?
Yep. It's pretty freaky.
So they're saying that they know there's a core because it does this.
Yep. It's what's called elementary physics. So because it does this, it must. No, not elementary as in school.
I know.
Yeah, you're just being an asshole.
Yeah, because that's what people do when you say that. You know, when people say that,
yeah,
like,
so
what you saying? I'm like, stupid? What? No.
because of this effect,
yeah,
it must have this inside it.
Yeah. If you stretch a rubber band back, that's elementary physics. If you put force on it, it will act as exactly. Not same thing, but same in elementary terms.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what we're looking at.
Okay, you're looking at the magnetic field. Okay, so it's showing north and south poles of the planet, and that the magnetic fields emanate out from those center points, and then cover this. Well, okay, so it looks like it's only going sideways, but it's actually 360 degrees.
Okay, just like
around the planet.
Just like a gravity well is shown. It's not depicted correctly, but it's a good idea.
Yeah,
Because people
yeah,
think gravity, we sit in the
Right,
gravity well,
exactly.
but it's really the center of the Earth sits in the gravity well, or sits
Hmm.
in the gravity well. I'm sorry, it's weird, and
yeah.
and it's in
Because
every single direction you can ever imagine, no matter what.
Right.
yep.
Yeah, that was a real hard
But
one to
it's
grasp when I first heard that. I was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't think about it.
yeah, but it's also the shape of it,
Hmm.
and the belts around it as well.
So yeah, I was
It,
gonna say, so the belts have a magnetosphere, or part of it? Do they produce this too?
they
They cause magnetic shift.
right,
Yeah. So
and
they will
that
disrupt the magnetosphere,
Uh-huh. Is
but
that
not
what that
enough to cause any problems.
is that what that outside is? Where it's all
Yeah.
jetted
Okay.
or
No,
open?
no. See the blue bit.
Yeah,
See how it's thin.
thinner. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where the rings are causing fluctuations.
Oh, like it's pushing it away or spitting it out or
yeah,
yeah.
like pulling it out towards those the bands.
Okay.
Yep.
But
Okay. So
with the gravity with gravity involved in it, that's why the bands are there, and they stay in place along with the gravity field.
Ah,
You see what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. I was almost thinking as if it was the gravity. You were saying this magnetic field was what did everything there. Didn't make sense at first.
yeah, well, it's the same as what stops us having our atmosphere blown away. It stops Saturn and Jupiter and all that from having their atmospheres blown away.
What would it look like if it was flat? Saturn was flat.
You
Would
wouldn't
that
have that
why?
because, well, if it was flat, where the hell would the massive core be?
Well, the core would be flat.
Well, not only that, where would those rings be?
I don't know. That only happens because it's on a
Because
ball.
if it was flat, those rings couldn't be pulled in to the planet like they are.
Ah, because of that crazy.
Yeah, those rings don't move at the same speed as the planet. They move at different speeds around each band.
Doesn't that
To
wait?
jump back to
Is it that one
to
or
jump back to
Jupiter that has like 79 moons and they're like finding more?
Jupiter.
One of the two.
I think it's
Saturn,
Jupiter that has a ludicrous number of moons.
Saturn just overtook Jupiter,
Oh,
See,
did it? When did that happen?
like last week.
Yeah.
okay, so here's one
The
of the
Titans
You
questions.
were
got to keep
racing.
up with the times.
Well, here's the question I have because this is one of the questions I had when I was a flat earther that still confuses me. If, say, in the 70s, there was 11 planets or 11 moons, well, if we had a good understanding of gravity as I know it now to be, doesn't it change a lot of stuff once you get up to these 80, 90 moons? Like, doesn't the gravitational pull start pulling some of those in? Because, I mean, that's a lot of mass in that little area. Like, aren't
Okay,
those moons as big as us?
all right. Here's the one that's gonna throw you off. Okay, do you know Jupiter's orbital path is not centered in the sun?
It's like Mercury's.
No, no. Okay, so the orbit of Jupiter, its center point is actually outside of the corona of the sun.
What?
That's how much gravity it has.
I'm confused.
Okay, so
Because it's
with
creating so much gravity, it's pulling itself away.
What just happened? I don't hear anybody. I think I just. You guys there? I think I just lost my internet. I think I lost the signal. Let me see if I can get back.
There he is.
That sucks.
Welcome back to your stream.
When you say it like that, it's kind of scary. I think I left you guys at looking for. I was gonna see. I was type Google. My Google works. I was gonna Google search Jupiter's orbits.
Okay, I'm going to explain to you about centers of gravity.
Oh shit!
So you get a stick. So you get a stick with two balls on either end of it,
Yeah.
and they both weigh the same. The center point will be in the middle.
Yes.
If you've got one massive ball at one end and a slightly smaller ball at the other end, the center of mass is further towards the larger object.
Yeah, like a trampoline. Or not trampoline, seesaw. What the hell you call that thing? No, the game where you put someone sits on each side and you kick it and you go up and down.
Yeah, teeter-tottering, basically.
Teeter-tot, yeah. That's
But this.
and then
Yeah,
you jump off like an asshole.
this is the analogy. Okay.
Their ass against the ground. Fucking dick move. It was funny.
Yeah. Okay. So if you had a ball that represented the size represented the sun and its weight, and then you had a stick going out to Jupiter, your finger will not be at the center of that ball. It will be out on the stick.
It'd be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Like, see, I'm a genius.
Yeah, not that far out though.
Yeah, well, Jupiter's down. Yeah, that's where it's at. I can see it. It says it.
Yeah. But but that's the principle that the center point for Jupiter's orbit pulls against the sun, so its actual center point is outside of the sun's radius.
I'm confused.
Diameter.
I'm so confused right now.
Okay, so Jupiter and the sun sort of turn together.
Well, doesn't everything orbit itself? Like the moon orbits us, but we also orbit the moon.
Yeah, same principle. Okay, the gravitational pull of the moon pulls against us, and we pull against the moon, which moves the center to not be in the center of the planet. It goes. I'm not sure if it's at the surface or if it's just below the surface of the planet is the center point for the orbit.
So Jupiter is so big.
It's so massive.
It takes the sun off its center point.
Yeah, and makes it wobble.
Does that affect us?
Nah, not majorly.
Wait,
It's only minor.
How come then we don't get pulled by Jupiter?
We do. Every planet in the solar system pulls on each other.
Yep, exactly. Which is what keeps us all together. It's a perfect storm.
Oh, I see. So that whole 3-body rule isn't exactly true. That we can't.
What's the 3-body rule?
They can't measure 3 masses for the rate of for the pull of gravity, I guess, something like that. So
well, you can't necessarily get a fixed answer, but you can get a lot of data that will allow you to solve a 2-body diagram from a correct point of view.
Yeah, but what about the 3-body?
The 3-body doesn't necessarily have a 3-body doesn't exactly have a singular answer, but it can provide enough context to solve a 2-body with correct motions.
But you can't answer a 3.
I think there may be a way to. I'm just not certain that you can. It's been a long time since I've taken
Brian,
that
you
class.
You sound like a flat earther when you answer that question. I'm like,
Sean,
3-body question, and you're like 2-body.
I'm gonna blow your mind right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You're telling me we have a 5-body problem now?
Did you know that Einstein's special relativity equation is actually 10 equations in one?
I know space-time didn't matter in special relativity. I know that.
No, that came out of general relativity.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Space-time. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember
I said at the start?
That means special relativity. Einstein used that as a force. Boom.
That's right.
Mind blown.
That's right.
See, I just blew your mind because you didn't expect that to come out.
Oh, it's, what, you mean you telling me something I knew? Okay. Anyway.
As an
asshole.
Yes. I felt good. I like to say that one. That was a good one. Someone did.
That was a good one.
Someone didn't know that, and now they know.
But what I like about this conversation we're having now is that we are concentrating on that thing called gravity.
Well, kind of hard to get off it. It's kind of constant.
Yeah, it is. That's why it's called a gravitational constant.
Yep.
Or the law of gravitation. You can pick which one you want, but
I like droppity.
There is gravity.
I like droppity blue.
Yeah, I like lumpy jumper, but you know.
And I defy gravity every time I jump. What?
Yeah, you do.
I do. I'm a superhero.
Yeah.
I told you. I'm gonna be around for millions of years.
Yeah, you defy gravity, but you're not anti-gravity.
Oh no! Definitely not anti-gravity. That's no.
Apparently, that's one of JM Truth's new thing is the fact that anti-gravity exists. Does he understand that? Okay, for every antiparticle, there is another particle that will eliminate it.
Yeah.
Well, oh, I stand corrected. The three-body problem does have some special solves. Unfortunately, you can't solve it using just Newton.
Brian was pissed. He was like, "Fuck that! I'm answering this question now."
No, I just had to
Brian?
go. I just had to go double check. I had to verify. I had to do due diligence.
Brian, special relativity. Okay.
That's what I just said. There are special cases to where you can solve it. Generally,
special
you can't
relativity
solve it.
Will solve that problem.
I thought we were talking specifically Newton. My apologies, y'all.
I'm just in relaxed mode. Trust me, I was just kidding. I only say
okay, Brian.
I'm just like thinking of things that I remember being pitching about when I was a flat earther.
Okay, Brian. Forget Newton, because Einstein's equations use Newton's equations.
Davros, there's no worries. I'm just exhausted. I tried to go to sleep and couldn't, and I've been up a while.
I don't care.
Another 28 or 24.
No,
Jesus Christ.
No excuse for being flat.
My question.
In what way was I flat? I just said that. I provided accurate information from the scope that I had.
Hey Brian, let me ask you a question, because I've always wanted to ask the doctor this. This whole staying up for 36 hours. Do you think it's exactly the safest thing for patients? And do you think your patients want you up at 32?
Doctors have been doing it for centuries.
It doesn't make it any safer because they got to be on something or they're doing damage.
That's right. Because the guy that amputated the leg and amputated the fingers, and then the other person died from the shock, the triple fatality.
Yeah, man.
300% mortality in one surgery.
Yep.
Do I think it's safe? Absolutely not. But also, it's kind of unavoidable in the current healthcare situation. If Congress wants to make it easier by opening up more residency slots, then absolutely it won't be an issue. But Congress controls how many residency slots are available each year.
So they control. So it's literally their fault why you have to do long hours to keep a hospital stocked, basically.
A lot of the time.
That's crazy. That's messed up because I also heard about, because my mom used to be an OBGYN nurse, and I come to find out, like, it doesn't count for her because she was in more of a the checkups and all that kind of stuff, and then the doctor would go to the hospitals to deliver, but nurses at hospitals, like, they're not allowed to, like, just take days off. Like, if they're sick and they need to be there, like, they just have to go to work sick. It's crazy.
No hospital system I've ever worked with would deny a nurse a sick day.
What if one gave them used all their sick days and that was a problem? No.
They would just have a no pay sick day.
This was actually an issue that was going on. I just remembered where I heard it from. It was case where they didn't give the nurses sick days, or they weren't giving them sick days, and they were making them go to work sick.
Well, that's fucked up, and I've never worked in a system that screwed up.
Hey,
I'm trying to
Brian.
remember where.
Did I
Yes,
tell
sir.
you I had a button sewed to the bottom of my foot?
What the hell did you just say?
For what reason did you have that done?
No.
I had a
want
tendon moved.
Oh, well, that's interesting. You had a button sewn to the bottom of your foot?
Okay,
on
I'll give you
purpose?
explanation.
Wait, on purpose?
Explanation of the entire operation.
Wait, this is an opera. I would love to hear this.
Haven't you seen the pictures of my cast?
Do not show it. That is so gross. Yes. But you said a button.
Okay.
I want to hear about the button.
Okay. All right. I'll get there. Okay. So I had an Achilles tendon extension done.
Mhm.
I had a tendon on the left side of my foot moved over to the right side to pull the left side of my foot up.
Which foot is this, left or right?
Left foot.
Okay.
So they moved it from over the big toe to over the second to last toe to help pull it back up.
You're asleep.
Because
right? You're asleep.
yeah, I was fast out. So what they had to do for the tendon to stay attached, they had to sew a button underneath my archway to keep it in place while it reattached itself.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
They had,
they
had an external anchor for the graft. Got you.
Yeah, but it was an actual button.
I was just gonna ask.
So,
That's amazing.
That you could use on the pants.
No, like a shirt button.
Those ortho guys, the ortho guys, the guys who do all the surgeries on tendons, bones, crazy things like that. They come up with some odd things, but they are amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will attest that because I had an injury on my wrist where I actually severed the tendons and the arteries, the artery in my my left hand, and when I got out of surgery and I think about the 8th day, I think I went back to see him to check the staples and everything, and the nurse was talking to me and she said, you know, you're real lucky, you know, that the doctor was there. And I'm like, I just blew it off. And then I went to the hospital to talk to them about the workman's comp because I was helping a guy out. And I was talking to the representative and she was like, and she's like real cool. She was like, you're lucky you didn't get one of the residents. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you know, one of the doctors that are always here, it was actually the plastic surgeon specialty guy that happened to be there. You know, he was on his way out and I came in and he did it. So my scar is beautiful. Like you have to look at my wrist to see the scar rather than the torrid looking thing that was described to me my hand could have been. So those specialty guys, holy crap.
Well, to be fair, there are specialty residents as well. A resident is just someone who hasn't completed the entirety of their training and been granted status.
Yeah, well, the place where it happened,
they're like a student above a student.
Yeah. Well, I had to go there because I needed trauma surgery, and the first place I went didn't have it. So it was like out of nowhere that, you know, that just so happens that I went there as he was there at that time. But I mean, they told me, he told me, I still I have feeling, I have no sensation in my thumb. Or wait, no, I have sensation, I don't have feeling. There you go. He said it'll come back. It was 6 years ago, so I think he's full of shit. But he said that most times, because of the trauma surgery aspect of it, most doctors aren't trained or care how pretty it is. So they're just trying to get shit working again and stop bleeding and blah, blah, blah. And he said a lot of times what happens is because of that, tendons and other stuff get too tight. And that's why people lose feeling in their hand or they can't use their thumbs and stuff like that. So I'm just so happy. I had a specialist. I'm so happy. And I won't show my picture to everyone like Digital did over here, but I'll show you eventually, Brian. You'll love it.
I'm sure. Ortho was probably my favorite rotation back when I was a student.
Yeah, that was
I also had a piece of bone taken out the front of my foot too.
Hey Brian.
Hey, what's
yes,
up?
Sir.
Hey, what's up? Hey Brian. I have I have 3 nipples. Am I like a superhero?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Yes,
Jose.
you have an additional nipple. Is it on the milk line?
What?
It's a tiny nipple underneath the right one. Like, let me see, like 3 inches
Jose.
underneath.
Jose, you
Yeah.
got milk too?
Superficial.
I got 3 nipples.
But you got milk? Does milk come out of
No,
them?
but extra.
Milk.
He asked if you had milk things.
Jose,
No, is it on the
Jose,
milk
you
line?
are a superhero.
It's an old term that we don't use anymore. It's what he's got is called an extra numeri nipple, and it's really not all that uncommon.
It's like a second brain.
But let me hear, Brian. Come on, this is news to me.
Me too.
Because my oldest brother, and myself, we got it, and it's like it looks just like a nipple, a tiny baby nipple.
If you lick your finger and rub it, does it feel good?
Yes.
It's a third nipple, confirmed. We don't need.
Yeah, I googled it a while ago, and some big celebrities like I think Mark Wahlberg and others had a third nipple also. So it's not a common thing, but it's a common thing, if you know what I mean. Is that all right?
So you're not a superhero.
Well, you just told
Not a superhero, a celebrity.
It's uncommon, but not necessarily rare.
Does it make him contagious?
But if him and his brother both have it, that means that the chances that they get it has a genetic linkage, which is interesting.
Yeah, Sean, are you saying his genetics are contagious?
I'm asking. I want to know.
Genetics aren't contagious, buddy.
Genetics
are
not
really
contagious.
My parents, they passed that shit on to me.
I hear a lot of people talking, but I don't hear the doctor talking.
Congenital.
Because we're over talking the doctor.
I'm a doctor. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what to say. The difference, what you're describing is congenital. You were born with it. It's a part of your code. Your code, not code. God, I can't speak. So I mean, you can't really catch it from your parents, but they can sure as hell give it to you because genetics suck sometimes.
Yeah, as far as I know.
So Brian, what you're trying. So Brian, what you're trying to say is you really hope nobody comes in tonight really messed up because you don't want to work on them.
Oh, I cannot be called in. I'm over hours.
Why don't you go to bed?
Because I can't sleep.
Sean, have you ever been to that point where you've been up so long that you try to go to sleep and all you do is toss and turn?
Yeah. I call that staring at the ceiling hours. Yeah, it sucks. It's the worst.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's right when you get that third win, you didn't know it was there.
Yep. Yep, it's the moment you lie down that it comes.
Yeah. No, it's usually 5 minutes after.
I think the worst is when you get to the point where you're just starting to hallucinate.
That's not good.
And yeah.
One last question. One last question about medicine. This one is important, right? When since I was a little kid, I was told that I was allergic to penicillin, right?
Don't take.
I had a surgery when I was 18 because they had to put me to sleep to fix my wrist. I broke and shattered my right radius, so they had to put me to sleep. And they say we have to use a little bit of penicillin. I just turned 18 back then. They said you're an adult. I said yeah, just use it, whatever. But they say they use a very minimal amount. Now if something happened to me and they put me in the hospital, they put me penicillin like a lot of amount because I'm not able to tell them or no, and I don't have any medical record in the United States. Can I die? Can I die for that? Or
we're usually pretty quick to catch. We're usually pretty quick to catch whenever somebody's allergic to something. And so there's always cardiac monitoring, especially a patient who is unable to communicate with us. If anything started to go wrong, it would be immediately discontinued. We would start anaphylaxis treatment, and we'd make sure that we switched to something that didn't have any. It wasn't a penicillin, and didn't have any cross reactivity that could not cross reactivity. Any mechanism of action that resembles a penicillin. So you could die, but the chances of it are very, very low.
All right.
And now the way the electronic medical records are, we can get pretty good information to and from places, assuming that on if for any reason you've ever been to another place that uses, say, the program Epic, it's pretty easy to transfer records between.
Here you go, Brian. And I
The only
I took
before
him
you
out
continue,
I took
my
him out to
only
Spain.
medical record, the only medical record I have is in Puerto Rico when I was 18. That was 20 plus years ago, 25 years plus ago. Will they find that records?
That one they probably would not find. Also, Sean, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I told you. You're damn right it is. I'm proud of my fucking wrist. I realized what he was talking about, and I was like, oh my god, it is beautiful. That's like for people, because no viewers can see this because I don't want to force it on them like digital did. But that scar, that's the way those staples and everything went into my hand. There was a nurse that told me she's never seen as good. I went, oh my god, Superman.
Yeah, and
blessed me.
if you said you had a major vessel cut on that side of your hand, means you had a radial cut, which is really not a very good thing. But it's a lot better than having your ulnar cut when it comes to your hand.
Yeah, because they explained to me it's right where it is basically the junction. It's like where everything happens. And he repaired nerves. Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me. I figured I was screwed when I woke up. I was like, okay.
It's a little known fact that it's a little known fact that peripheral nerves do have some regenerative ability. That's why people recover from things like Guillain-Barré syndrome if caught in time, if it's caught in time and the nerve isn't completely degenerated.
Yeah, because he said the only reason he actually even did the nerves and all that stuff, he said, because once they got the bleeding to stop, he said it was basically just more of a just what he does type thing, is how he put it. Yeah. He's like I was in there, so I put stuff back together. I was like, thanks.
Yeah, gotta make sure that you don't die of blood loss and that your hand isn't going to go necrotic because it doesn't have anything going to it. And then we can play with the rest of it.
Yeah, it was a very special. I'm telling you, I didn't know how bad this was, how bad that it was until my first checkup. That's seriously, because first the nurses were like shocked because I went into surgery 17 minutes after it happened. I woke up out of surgery the next morning, and in 4 hours, I was doing my laps around the island. And I did that for 6 hours, and then they let me leave. And I didn't even see the doctor for the after surgery thing, because he saw me walking around and was like, why? He's like, send him home. Yeah, so less than 12 hours, I was pretty much 15 hours. I was pretty much on my way home after that happened.
So basically, you were like, you were being yourself, wandering around, going, "Jesus Christ, can we do something?"
Yep. Yeah, I got it. Like I took 2 rounds of pain meds, and I hate pain meds. I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel all icky. So I took 2 rounds when I first woke up, and when everyone left after that night after the surgery, and then when I woke up that morning, my friend came by, and we were just bullshitting, just talking, and I got restless because of it. So we started walking around the island, and I think the nurse said me and him did about 60 laps, and they see you do 60 laps, they want that bed back. It was interesting. Definitely one of the worst times of my life, but how many people can say they know what a finger inside their wrist feels like?
Yo.
Yeah, because when I got to the first hospital, so the nurses, they're holding me down crucifix style. And then there's one at my head trying to calm me down, and all I hear in my ear is, "It doesn't matter, figure it out." I just feel a finger slide into my wrist, and the doctor go, "Does it work? Then keep it there." And then I blacked out. It's fun time. Fun times. And then make it even better. You know, when you're all groggy, you wake, kind of open one eye and you see like your surroundings, but then you go back out. I black out. I wait. I kind of open an eye and I see tiles. You know, like the tiles in like the movie Saw, like the small ones that line a wall. I saw that. I remember passing that, and then I was out again. Then I woke up with it wrapped around my wrist, and took me an hour and a half to get a fucking nurse in there to unwrap it, so I knew I had a thumb. I was so petrified. I was like, "Oh, please be there." Because remember, I was out. I never talked to
Sean
anybody.
Hawkins in the chat. I don't know what to do with the information if you want nipples on your feet.
What? He has nipples on his feet?
No. If you go up and you look at it, he's like, "I want nipples on my feet." Is what it says. I don't know what to do with that information.
I suggest your mouth. It's just, it'll be better, much better. I don't know why. I just think it will.
Yeah, you should get Hannah on this.
I'm
board.
sure there's a doctor I'm sure there's a doctor someplace in some country that'll do that for you.
Yeah.
But why on your foot? You put your feet in your mouth, Sean?
I want to Ronnie James Dio the shit out of nipples. What?
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? What does that even mean?
He's gonna holy dive in him, I guess. I don't know.
I'm still clueless. Should I know this? I don't know this term.
Yeah. No, but if you want some stories, Hannah Anderson in the chat, with what she does, I'll bet you she has some amazing stories, and she's got quite a bit of experience in the field as well.
She's like in the people bleeding and all that stuff field.
Oh, she's a NICU nurse. Like, she's insane. She has more power than a lot of internal medicine attendings.
Damn.
She essentially has the power to PRN do whatever the hell she needs to make sure that neonates survive.
Like they push fucking organ patients and shit off lists and shit, huh?
That's not quite what she does.
I was gonna say, because that's pretty.
Did anybody tell you no doxing, Brian?
She says it all the time out here in the chat.
Yeah, she said it is chill, but I did think the same thing at first. That's why I asked it a little different. It's like, you were supposed to say, I'm pretty sure she said something, otherwise how does Brian know?
No, she said it in the chat.
I know,
she gets onto me whenever I spell things wrong because she actually absolutely should get onto me for spelling things wrong.
Oh, because you're one of the people. She would like write something to you and you write back, and then like she has to read your crap, and then she has to like call you because your shit is so crappy.
Yeah. I'm in the position where if I come in and say, okay, I want lidocaine, she looks at me like an idiot because I didn't say that I want 1% with epi. I should have been specific.
I don't. What is that? Huh? You say epi, like an EpiPen?
Yeah. Well, see, lidocaine in and of itself is pretty good for what you want. Say you've got somebody who's
how do you know what I want?
You don't want an area that I'm about to stick a scalpel into to hurt.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, wait, what? Okay, yeah. Oh, that's that numbing stuff. See, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know that. So can you please talk to me like I shouldn't know? Brian's like, lidocaine.
Well, Brian, maybe I do. Maybe I do want it to hurt.
I'm sorry then. It's against the code.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
If I can find a way to not cause you pain, I should go that way. If you actually can't tolerate the lidocaine and I have no other option, and you're willing to do it, Bear, I can do that.
Well, if we're not elevator that's stuck and you have to take a lung out, what happens?
You don't do shit because there's nothing in an elevator that's going to let me take a lung out.
A scalpel.
You know how...
I thought, in my brain, it seems pretty easy.
Yeah.
Look, it's right there.
Yeah. Now, how on earth do I squeeze that past a rib? That's the weird part to me.
Under. You gotta go under. Through the ass.
You want me to go through the diaphragm? Okay.
Well, I see the thing. If I'm touching and poking right now, I'm thinking under my ribs would be the easiest, rather than through them.
Yeah. I can't even begin to describe to you the number of problems that would cause.
Wait. If I'm pulling my own lung out, I'm pulling them through. If
you're gonna pull your own lung out, you might as well go through your diaphragm because you're not making it through the rest of that surgery.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems right there. A lot of problems in my logic.
Yeah, I don't even think I'd get past the first cut.
There's some sort of story about a physician that was actually in Antarctica that came down with appendicitis.
You're already lying, and you work for NASA.
Yeah. But the story goes that he had to perform it on himself because the only other people who had the capability, technically, to do it, physically couldn't stand the sight of blood.
Huh.
So he was having to cut himself open. He would pass out. Had to go back in and start cutting himself again.
Oh,
Not only did he cut his own appendix out, but he survived.
What the fuck? I'll
have to double check on that story, but I swear I've heard that. It might have been on a podcast.
I would have ate those people to stay alive because they're assholes.
Well, it wouldn't be the sight of the blood that really would get me. It would probably be because I would probably cut something that I shouldn't have cut.
Yeah.
Is there a Home Depot around?
Oh, yep, here it is. The man who cut out his own appendix on the BBC News. Russian surgeon Leonid Rogozov.
Yep. Russian.
Of course he's Russian.
Those Russians are crazy. They play with bears and shit.
I remember seeing the episode of House where he tries to cut out his tumors from his leg.
Yeah, but that's because House is a drug addict.
No.
Yes, he was.
That is because House doesn't trust any other doctor.
But he takes a lot of those pills.
Yeah, and?
It's a phantom pain.
The fact that he was injecting himself with something that was supposed to help him with the pain that caused him cancer, that had nothing to do with the drugs he was taking.
House is probably the absolute worst medical show on the planet.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it is, but that was the reason it was so good, is because of the absurdity of someone being so abhorrently assholey.
Is that where Glober's got that from? It's kind of dick like that sometimes. Where I just say things that aren't necessary. I was watching Fight the Flat Earth today, and sometimes wait a minute. That's Team Skeptic, isn't it? That's Team Skeptic? I was confused at first. So he shows himself on camera, and now he's crazy. Now he's a raging lunatic. That was happening?
You thought he was like that before he went on camera?
Well, I think it's different when you see him doing it. I watched that man in a mankini doing the thrust. That side they're getting crazy. They got issues, man. That's not normal. That is not normal. Someone's gonna pull their wiener out and ask where the crackers are at. And it's gonna get real awkward over there. If you don't know what that means, you guys should Google that shit.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or don't.
I'm telling you, what I watched tonight was insane. It scares me. That scares
Where's my crackers at? Where's my crackers?
I thought of Team Skeptic so differently. He sounds different than he acts crazy. That shit was insane. That was bad. Alright, guys. I'm getting tired. Get out of here. Brian.
Alright, Sean. It was a good chat today.
It was fun. I enjoyed today. It was just
sure was.
Hang out. BS and no drama. Nothing at all. Nothing even close. Oh, so wonderful. I like those.
And you've learnt a little bit more about my knowledge.
Yes. Exactly. You're an authority.
Of a certain extent.
You're an astronomer, or an amateur astronomer, and I know the real astronomer people, the professionals, who say amateur astronomers find most of the stuff that they do all their studies on. You guys are
Yeah.
the ones that find that shit, not them. They're never looking.
Yeah,
at
we
it or
find
something.
asteroids, comets. We find supernova they didn't know happened.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm serious. I fucking watch like a few lectures on that kind of stuff, and they're like every single one of them is very adamant about saying amateur blah blah blah. Amateur astronomers are the ones who find the majority of what we know today.
And guess what? They haven't
Well,
seen a single freaking alien craft.
Or
that's
NASA's paying pretty well.
that's the
No,
that's the
because
same as like the railgun and stuff. It's the amateurs that start off with it,
Mm.
and then other people pick up on it, and and I mean, it's just human invention.
and then people that don't understand how the fucking thing works.
Yeah.
Yeah, what didn't make sense to me is other night. Was that last night? Last night, yeah. Montreal going 25 miles. And I'm thinking in my head, that thing is made to get 25 miles in a blink of an eye. How is that the limit of its range? Didn't make sense. I read 2 years ago how that thing, they were trying to make it so it could be against an anti-aircraft weapon as well.
Yeah,
Doesn't make sense. Line
yeah,
of
they're
sight?
talking about being able to do. I think they call it beyond 80-degree launches with a railgun.
Hmm? Well, I was thinking, if it was line of sight, they'd be using fucking sniper rifles. But they put a big ass thing on a ship for that.
Yeah,
Well,
that
if it was
just
if it was line of sight on that thing, then you really wouldn't have to worry about anything. You just mount it there, and you could fire it over and over and over again, and demolish anything in sight.
Yeah.
The
The problem is
you
you
know
don't want 99% of warfare happens out of sight.
Yeah, they just used a drone to kill or to demolish that
yeah, Al Baghdadi.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
Demolish his
demolished
house.
his compound, and then ground troops went in and chased him.
Man,
Yep.
technologies these days. I think I'll do a couple of technologies sooner or later.
Yeah, do the Predator drone.
Ooh, that's actually a good one. See,
Yeah.
it's hard to do drones because I did like I was saying the other night. When you do military stuff, YouTube, it's one of the things YouTube's watching. Um, I got two taken down for military stuff. One of them, I was able to take out like 45 seconds of one piece, re-upload it, and it's still to this day still there. But it's very dangerous. It's hard to do fucking military stuff because there's stuff they don't like being on air. And like it wasn't like violence. It's just the different type of weapons they have. They don't like it out there.
Well, that goes back to the railgun. Rather than showing what the Navy has, like I said, you can look up amateur ones and start getting information from them. They give you the measurement of the joules. They give you what they're using for capacitors, things like that. So you start scaling up from there. You see what technology they have, and just I mean, and briefly go over that the Navy has had one that they've been testing to shoot through everything they can put in front of it.
Yeah. Uh, all right, guys. I do appreciate. Like I said, man. Yeah, today was a really good one. It's one of those ones where you just get to just BS and don't have to worry about any defensive actions. Like you're not waiting for something to come out of nowhere. Just chill.
No left field shit.
Yeah. Well, we did. Jose's third nipple is kind of left field, but
Yeah, but that was going into medical stuff. So we were talking about like astrophysics and shit, and then we got into Brian Peck's specialty.
yeah. And I still feel that Brian, you need to go to sleep. Worry about your man. That's just crazy.
No, so I'll figure it out a little bit. I think I'm gonna try to overdose on some caffeine real fast, just to push me over the limit somehow the opposite direction.
Well, how long?
Adrenaline opposition.
How long until you're back on call?
Oh, call's not an issue. This is just from the fact that I had day admit and night admit in one day because I was covering for a friend. I didn't realize that I had done that to myself.
Oh, I no longer feel bad for you then.
Yeah. No, I never asked anyone to. I screwed it up myself. I'm plenty good at that.
Time to go scalpel somebody. I'll be back.
But
I
it gets
like
me
that.
it gets me 2 weekend calls off in a row. So I'll take it.
All right, sir. Digital, thank you. I do appreciate it,
Yeah.
seriously. Especially knowing now what you do. So, like, you enjoy doing your hobby-wise and all that, because I have a lot of questions about that, as you can tell.
Yeah, we can do it again whenever you want, man.
Absolutely.
Because the thing about our solar system, a lot of it's really simple to grasp, but I think that's what worries the flat earthers, is because it is actually simple to understand.
Well, how about this? Because this is one of the things I noticed right away about NASA. NASA sells the shit out of space, but it's because for two reasons, in my opinion. The raw data, the raw images aren't very appealing, and then they want your kids, our kids, to want to know more about that space. So yeah, they make it look magical, wonderful, out of this world. Yes, because it is.
Yeah, awesome is the word.
Yeah. I think if NASA, and I know that, like, if they were more transparent on the raw data, I think it would be better. I just found out about a lot of those programs that reads data and then gives you the visual of what you're looking at. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm still getting used to how that works. It's like whatever you're.
Yeah, data collation is very tricky.
Yeah. Well, they have a bunch of programs that do it itself easy. Like, you put all the data into it and then they'll do it for you. But it is complicated. I don't really understand it. So.
Then just understand what you can.
Yeah. Oh, I'm learning about it. It's one of those things. I thought that was pretty cool. That's why I want to do it, because I was reading in one of the little websites, context and all that stuff for fair use and all that, and they're like, they don't want their data distributed, but like if I use the software and I make a visual for the data interpretation of it, I can use that on my stream and like as my backgrounds and shit like that. So I thought that was pretty badass.
Because you've extrapolated from the raw data your own image. That image is technically yours.
Yeah, because I thought that, and those ones. I mean, people, you guys think like on the internet or NASA, those things look fake or they like just look extravagant. No, these data ones, like the nebulas and all that stuff, are when you get off the data, it's like it's not like this abnormally looking thing, but it's unreal. It's weird. It's hard to describe what it looks like, but it gives you a better idea of what's out there rather than what NASA puts out so much.
Yeah, well, the way they get those pictures is they take it in the infrared wave, our color spectrum, the ultraviolet wave, microwaves, and even gamma rays.
Yeah, that's like
to make that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also the other thing I found. NASA's really open about that shit. They have a whole photograph division that explains everything and even explains using their stuff. Those are a lot of the things that I found not as accurate as flat earthers told me it was when I first came around about NASA and how it worked, because I didn't learn all that shit.
And you can go direct to their website and see where all their money is spent.
Oh yeah, and that's how I found out it's not very much money at all. And I also found out there's like 75 agencies that are under the space we call it the space
administration.
Yeah, space administration part. Like NASA's just one of a whole shit ton when it comes to that budget. They're not just getting all that money.
Yeah, because none of them talk about jet propulsion laboratories.
Yeah. Well, that's
who are actually the ones that make the frickin' rockets.
Well, see, that's the place that that's the place that made people think NASA was doing the rain and shit, because that engine when it get, and they don't realize like that day had have you seen that video when they're testing the engine and it becomes a rainy day?
Yeah.
That moisture was there. It was going to rain that day anyway, and that engine it kicked it off. But a lot of people use that like the chemtrails, and that's what they're doing. But it's like a different levels. It just doesn't work the same.
Yeah, they don't understand the amount of power that comes out of a jet engine that it can disturb the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I gotta get out of here. Jose, you there?
Thank you.
Sean, thank you, my friend. You were the first one here, and you made it a good conversation. So
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you having me on. It was a great conversation. It's always good to learn stuff about the universe.
Oh yeah, and I got to know that you know a little bit more about it than I thought.
Yeah, see, my mind's like a warehouse, but most of that information is just thrown on the floor, so I gotta pick it up.
Yeah, you gotta get on the forklift and hit the aisles and find it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, my friend.
No worries. Thank you.
Yep. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Brian, thank you again. Digital again. Sean, thank you guys
Sean.
again.
Good night.
Good night. I'm gonna end this out. Excuse me. And then yeah, guys. Like I said, it was an impromptu. I didn't think I was going. So, topic was definitely very different out there. Because that's what happens. But that's usually when the best ones come out, and I think that was one of them. I do appreciate Digital Demonic letting us in on a little bit more of him and letting us know about how he's an blah 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 every time an amateur astronomer. So I'm going to talk to him a few more times and get a lot of questions out and see what he can help me out with, so I can have a better understanding of what's going on. Again, guys, thank you, Jose. I apologize. I didn't know you were going live when I started, and everyone who is here, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I will see you guys later. Oh yeah, and enjoy the new intro and outro. Where'd it go? It was number 10, right? Yeah, there it is. I found it. Bye.